Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You can call me Key, and I'm 36 years old. In May of 2023, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and today I'm here to share some of the habits that, looking back, I believe may have contributed to my diagnosis. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, and feel free to leave any questions or comments below. Let's start with my lack of sunlight exposure. In my early 20s, after finishing college, I worked at a warehouse as an inventory staff and later as a warehouse manager. Most of my working hours were during night shifts, from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m., and this routine lasted for 2 years. A few years later, I moved abroad for work and spent the next 4 years working from home. My daily routine didn't leave much room for being outside during the day. I only went out in the mornings or evenings, either to go to the gym, which was close to my apartment, or to run errands like grocery shopping. I didn't get much sunlight at all. We all know how important sunlight is for our vitamin D levels, and in hindsight, I can see how my minimal exposure to the sun may have contributed to my health issues. Next is my poor hydration. Growing up, I never really liked drinking water. In fact, I'd only drink about 2 to 3 cups a day, which is way below what we're supposed to consume. For years, I could hardly manage to drink even 1 liter. I also noticed I didn't sweat much, even when working out. We all know that staying hydrated is crucial for overall health, and looking back, I realized that this was definitely a habit that I should have paid more attention to. Another factor I want to mention is my sleep. Due to my work schedule, I had a habit of sleeping very late and waking up either late or very early, sometimes a mix of both. This meant I wasn't getting consistent, restful sleep. Lack of sleep can affect everything from your immune system to hormone balance, and I believe this irregular sleep cycle may have contributed to the health problems I faced later on. I also had a really poor diet. I didn't eat vegetables much, though I did love fruits. However, my meals mainly consisted of processed foods, canned goods, fast food, fried food, and instant noodles. I had no idea how much damage that kind of diet could do. I was essentially putting my body in a constant state of inflammation without realizing it. A nutrient-deficient diet is a big factor when it comes to illness, and I wish I had made healthier choices sooner. I also didn't take any vitamins or supplements. I always thought that our bodies could function without them, but over the years, I realized that I was missing out on important nutrients that my body needed. A lack of vitamins can weaken your immune system, and I believe that contributed to my body's inability to fight off disease as effectively. Now, let's talk about alcohol. I started drinking when I was 18. Back in college, it was almost a ritual to hang out with friends and drink after school. It became a regular thing for me. Over time, I didn't realize how much this was impacting my liver, hormones, and overall health. Drinking alcohol regularly can increase your risk of certain cancers, and I think it played a role in mine. In 2017, my doctor prescribed contraceptive pills to manage my menstrual cramps. I took them for 4 straight months. While the pills did help with my cramps, they came with side effects that I didn't anticipate. When I stopped taking them, I noticed that my menstrual cramps came back, and I also started having other issues with my hormones, which I later learned could have contributed to my diagnosis. Emotional stress and trauma are also huge factors. Growing up, I faced a lot of emotional trauma, including psychological abuse, bullying, and anger. I carried a lot of emotional weight with me throughout my life. I often felt lonely, sad, and unmotivated. We all know how stress can manifest physically, and I believe this emotional distress played a role in weakening my body's natural defenses. When I started working out at 29, I didn't take any gym supplements. But in 2022, at 34, I began drinking protein powders and other gym supplements. I didn't do enough research about the ingredients or the long-term effects of these products. While they can be helpful for muscle growth and recovery, I now understand that some supplements can have harmful effects on your body, especially if used without proper knowledge. Another habit I had was eating a lot of eggs, bread, and drinking milk. However, I noticed that every time I had them, I'd feel stomach discomfort, bloating, and sometimes acid reflux. Later, my doctor diagnosed me with gluten and lactose intolerance, something I had ignored for years. It's so important to listen to your body and pay attention to how certain foods affect you. Had I known sooner, I could have avoided some of the discomfort and inflammation that contributed to my health issues. Before I became aware of my intolerances, I frequently experienced stomach aches, bloating, acid reflux, and constipation. To alleviate these symptoms, my doctor often prescribed antibiotics and other medications. However, I never realized that the overuse of antibiotics could disrupt my gut health and weaken my immune system. Looking back, I now see that this overuse is another habit I wish I had been more mindful of. I also used to go to salons for regular hair treatments, coloring my hair every few months, and using various shampoos. I used to think it was no big deal, but in hindsight, the chemicals I exposed myself to over time might have contributed to my health problems. I also used over-the-counter teeth whitening chemicals. Those chemical exposures add up over time, and it's something I wish I had considered more carefully. I used to buy inexpensive, non-organic makeup without giving much thought to the ingredients. I loved lipsticks and had a large collection. However, I began to notice that whenever I wore lipstick, my body temperature would rise, I'd sneeze constantly, and small lumps would appear on my neck. At the time, I didn't make the connection, but looking back, I suspect that the chemicals in the makeup were behind these reactions. It's crucial to be mindful of the products we apply to our skin. I would like to add another important detail, and although it's not a habit, I believe it may have contributed to my cancer diagnosis. While living abroad in 2021, I moved into a shared apartment. Since I work from home, I spend most of my time in my room. My room is small, with no windows or proper ventilation, so there's barely any airflow. The building itself is quite old, but the flat had been recently renovated. Unfortunately, mold began to appear in the bathroom next to my room and gradually spread into my space. As a result, I've noticed that I often get sick, and my cough keeps returning, despite taking medicine. And so, these were the habits I had before being diagnosed with breast cancer. Even before the diagnosis, I was feeling symptoms and body reactions, but I didn't know what they meant and ignored them. If I could go back, I would definitely make different choices. In my next video, I'll be talking about the specific symptoms I experienced before my diagnosis, and I'll be sharing more of my journey with you. If you have any questions or if you can relate to anything I shared today, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video.